Now, as we were talking about before, in Avon, 2 people have died in a pair of outbreaks there. One impacted a nursing home, the other an assisted living facility.
Fox 61's Aisha Bowe joins us live from Avon this morning with the latest on these outbreaks. Aisha, good morning.
Tim and Ashley, good morning to you both. Right now, I'm standing right across the street from one of those places dealing with this outbreak, and that is the residences at Brookside on Simsbury Road, if you're familiar with this area. Now, at this time, here are some of the details we have been able to confirm with the Department of Public Health here and state officials. Right now, we know that Avon Health Center, which is the nursing home, has 14 staff members that tested positive, 22 residents that also tested positive for COVID-19, and we also know that 3 of them have been hospitalized and 1 person has died from COVID-19 related complications. And then at residence at Brookside, that is the assisted living facility, we know 11 residents there and 3 staff members have tested positive for COVID. We also know that there are 2 deaths being reported. One of them, the State Department of Public Health is still trying to figure out if that was COVID-19 related. Now, we also know both places, they are starting their contact tracing and case investigation here. We also know that residents at Avon Health Center have been tested on Monday, and then staff members were also tested on Tuesday, and that testing is set to continue this morning. Now, I have reached out to both locations. I'm still waiting to hear back from someone if they have any sort of statement or any information about how exactly they are handling these outbreaks right now. And of course, we'll update you as soon as we receive any of that information. For now, reporting live in Avon, Aisha Bowe, Fox 61 News.